Good
All right.
morning. How are you
Good
guys
morning.
doing? I see Jonatan sitting in the wonderful outside trading den today. How is it
That's
then?
right.
You said one
That's
of the
right.
last warmer summers, summer days in Sweden probably now.
Yeah, we had summer haven't been great. It's been rather cold, honestly. Lots of rain, and now this week has been like summer weather all of a sudden.
Hmm.
Which we got um not is it not spring? What it's not spring, is it? It's what's the other?
Autumn.
Autumn. Thank you for that. Thank you. That's
That's the
an
next
English.
one coming up at least.
Yeah. English lesson there. All right.
Yeah, I mean, here is still pretty hot, like above 30 degrees, but I saw like next week we're finally getting some rain again. We haven't had rain here in the 3.5 weeks, so
Wow.
everything outside is burned to crisp already.
Yep.
And we have to be prepared, like latest end of September, of course. Weather is going to shift again, and I mean, for us good, no one more reason to stay inside and look at the charts. You don't have those silly
Yeah.
excuses anymore to go on walks because the weather is bad.
Exactly. I'm actually kind of like I'm not a huge fan of well, actually, I do quite like winter. I like the fact that I'm able to. It feels like winter is the time when we kind of really start grinding, start working for real.
Yeah, so most of the time we don't have snow, so I don't like the 2 degrees rain and eternal darkness we have then. But
Yeah,
anyway,
that kind of fact. We got a
let's
lot of snow here in Sweden, so it's
yeah,
pretty good.
lucky
Fun
you.
for the
Yeah.
kids as well. Yeah.
Let's talk a bit about trading. Has been quite a week, I think. We've seen a lot of volatility on the markets. I would like to take the opportunity again today to go over the results of my market equilibrium indicator for the last
Yep.
weeks. I started doing some automation, and we'll talk about this, how the results of that are, where are the advantages of automation, where are the disadvantages for sure as well, and how I would like to go forward. I'm aiming at something that I kind of call like a half automated solution, probably. But more on that later. If you don't mind, I'm just going to switch on my chart and go over a couple of things here first. And yeah, let's start here maybe with Bitcoin. There was
Yep.
a new signal coming in from Bitcoin, and it's a pretty good one on September 4th. So the market equilibrium indicator said you should take a short position here for Bitcoin, or if you were in this position from end of August still, add to the position. And I think that signal was really spot on. Seems to be becoming a little bit reality, what we were talking about the last two episodes, that the market seems to want to do like one lower low until in September, until probably hopefully things are going to change for better times than starting in October or November. But we can have a look at this again, of course, towards the end of the video. Second pair I'm always looking at is ADA, so Cardano on the 5-minute time frame. Saw some really pretty cool signals there, all pretty much spot on. The one that was, of course, difficult to trade was this one. So you needed to be on the brave side here, really to add to the position down here. But we saw that on quite a lot of pairs when we had those huge volatility spikes the last days. Other than that, just before starting the stream here, it took another long position, automatic one. I'm going to show you that one later. Kind of my star setup in the past 6 days really has been Popcat. This is one of the pairs I automated as well. Has been performing extraordinarily well. I want to keep the excitement curve a little bit here. So I'm going to show you the results after I go through the charts. One trade that was a little bit difficult was this one here, which I traded by buying here and adding to the position here. This one ended up with a small loss, actually, which was immediately recovered by the sell cluster we saw here. So right now, Popcat, the bot, is building up based on the market equilibrium indicator. A long position there again, bought 2 times. As I said, bear a little bit with me. I'm going over the results. Dogecoin, also pretty much spot on all the time. really, some of the signals didn't make so much sense. For example, these here, but when we traded these here, we didn't have this resistance zone there still, so that one added later. But other than that, pretty easy to trade. Ripple, in my opinion, a little bit more on the difficult side. Some good trades here over the course of the last week. However, also some more difficult one. And this is actually a good example. If you look at these trades here, I think I need to move over the screen a little bit, no, like this. If you look at these trades here and this one, this is why I always say be cautious to take trades that are kind of somehow in the middle of nowhere. Those were buy signals that were triggered, somewhere between 2 points of what back then up here was a resistance, down here support. Ideally, I like to see something like we saw here, for example, where in this case a sell signal triggered directly or almost directly at the resistance, so you have a little bit of leeway to the downside here. Here you are, if you want to really scalp the markets, a little bit limited, because there's not, at least to the next area of resistance, not so much space left. I mean, we can see it still worked out, but you didn't win a lot of money on this one. You probably made something like 0.1% or something, so barely covering the cost for trading. As I said, I started building this up in an automatic way. For now, there are 2 bots trading. So every time here, for example, on PopCat, a signal is triggered, the bot will open a position size of 1,000. So both are 10K accounts. Trading size is 1,000 each. So in this case, 1, 2, 3, we had a position size of 3,000 to the upside. Why do I do this? I explained this last time or a number of times already. This is kind of my risk management strategy, that I want to have a leverage whenever possible that is below 1. 10K account, 1,000 position size. In this case, 3 positions. So 3,000 US dollar TFA long means this is a leverage of 0.3, so below 1. This is very important, and we can see.
I'm just going to go get some coffee. I'll be back in a minute.
Yeah, sure. And we can see here, even with a low position size like this, the bot was doing extremely well. So remember, this just started 6 days ago on the 1st of September. And we've already made a net profit, that is, so this is already deducted by cost of trading fees and so on, of 419 US dollars, which is insane. So this is a return on investment on the 10K of over 4% within just 6 days of trading. A profit factor of 4.75, which is insanely good. Normally, everything you have above 1.75 here is already super, super good. So this one is, with the 22 trades, it has been executing so far, performing extremely well. I just said in the Telegram group this morning, guys, be a little bit cautious. Of course, this is nice to see that everything is running so smoothly, that it made a lot of money already. You already earned more with this than when you would have put your 10K on a bank account, where you get maybe not even 4% of interest rate. So there will for sure be also times when there is going to be a drawdown. Same here with the ADA bot. So Cardano, this one trading not as much because it's on a 5-minute chart, but still also up by $115 in 6 days. Profit factor also insane here, 3.5%. Win rate, you can see here 77%, 75%. So really, really good. Going forward now, what I want to do is I want to integrate all the trading pairs that I'm trading into one bot strategy. Up to this morning, actually, I thought that's not possible with Wunder Trading, but I've just discovered that it might be possible, which is great, because then I don't need to look for other software to do this, but can use the software that I'm comfortable with. So that we have like one bot with a 10K account trading PopCat, Bitcoin, Ripple, Dogecoin, ADA, and maybe other coins on the way that we still find. Will then for sure not have a trading size of 1,000, but probably will scale down the trading size per trade even more, maybe to something like $500 or $250, because we will have more positions open at the same time. So you can see currently open positions are here the ones in ADA. So this is this signal here that was traded +2 in PopCat. Those 2 positions the bot started building up this morning. And as soon as, and I said earlier half automated, because I initially started to use a bot solution like this because I was a bit bummed out that a lot of the signals that appear from my indicator are at late night when I'm sleeping. So when there's a signal at 3 a.m., I cannot manually trade it. I also cannot trade it like when I'm in meetings, which I'm doing quite a lot, or when I'm streaming or recording a video or something like this. So what I did over the course of the last week, I let the bots open the position. Then in the morning when I come into the office, I see, okay, what has happened. If there's a nice profit, I'm going to close the trades then. If it's a loss, over time, the bot will handle that position by itself. At least it should do with the settings that I applied. So yeah, this is what I'm doing at the moment. The underlying indicator here, of course, if this is the first time you are watching me talking about this or our live stream here, is called the MEI, short for Market Equilibrium Indicator. You'll find a link also in the description of this video, of course, where you can subscribe to this indicator. Normally comes at a cost of $129 per month. However, I'm doing a sale right now, so to say, an opening sale. If you apply the code MEI75, you'll get 75% off for your first month. So you can try out the indicator and see for yourself how well it really works for yourself on a low budget and don't need to spend $130 for it already for the first month. So go in the description, try it out for yourself, and also join the Telegram channel where I try to update all the trades almost in real time. I do, and parts of it, and I think that's very important, really, is to share here in a very transparent way how the individual trade results are, because there's a lot of so-called wannabe traders out there, in my opinion, that always tell you how great supposedly they are, but in reality they never show you their results. And this is what I want to do different.
Very, very normal. And so, guys, what you're seeing here is transparency, and it's very it's something that's lacking in the trading industry. You've seen that. So not everyone needs to have a track record. Like, I don't care if there's some random trader on Twitter showing some trades or whatever. If he doesn't want to show a public track record, then I don't care about that. But if you're selling something, that is different. If you're selling something and you're telling the world that you're a professional and you're selling a service, that could be a mentoring service or a course, or in this case an indicator, we need to be transparent and show people that, and this is what you as a customer should expect as well. So if you're seeing someone out there, a trader that has too good to be true statistics and no way of actually showing you that it's actually true, then obviously that's not no one you can trust. And I think in this case right here, Dirk showing all the signals of being transparent about it all is obviously sets him apart from rest of the industry.
Henry asking there, does it also work for Forex? Yes, but not as well, at least for low time Forex strategies, as it works for crypto. So this specific incarnation of a trader, or let me start like this. This is my go-to indicator that I designed and use for very long-term Forex strategy. So as you guys know, I'm primarily a Forex option trader. So I look for volatility, for high volatility, for momentum, for position sizes of 2 to 3 months, because this is where I get the most premium and the highest decay of premium. So this is where this comes initially from. You can use this one also on lower time frame Forex space, but it's more difficult. It's for sure more difficult than using it on cryptocurrencies. Example you see here, for example, euro dollar 50 minutes. It kind of can hit quite nicely highs and lows, but you see you often have those clusters. And this is because the way currently euro dollar is moving, because it's heavily influenced at the moment by a lot of news coming out. One of them later today, for example, being the non-farm payrolls, which is going to have a huge impact. Everybody's looking at that at the moment. And in an environment like this, I honestly speaking wouldn't work with an indicator anyway. But all I can say is really, try it out for the 75% off for yourself, and if you like it after a month, well, that's money invested. If you don't like it, well, then you've blown, what is it, like 25 or 30 dollars, which I think is okay.
Yeah. So you said earlier. So this trading. I got some trading results that I want to show people. I know this is on my maybe you're not done. I'm just jumping
No,
in
I'm
here
done.
and
I actually just
interrupting.
wanted to say
I also want to
can hand
comment on.
over to you now.
Yeah, I want to comment on that. The indicator for forex as well. I have gone through it in forex and crypto, and I do actually see that. So first of all, it's important to remember that a trading edge is something that you really have to take care of, and if you find that there's a a higher percentage of good trades in one market than the other, and if the difference is big, then naturally you should focus on the market that has the best results, because
Yes.
that's your edge, and you have to be very selective when with your edge, right? So looking at this indicator, what I've seen is in the crypto market, there's a big difference in with crypto and forex, if I'm going to
Yeah.
be honest. And I think crypto, it works really, really well. In forex, there's still I think there needs to be some level of discretion
Yeah.
with this indicator in the forex market that might be different in crypto. So I've tried it out. I've tested it in forex. As you know, I'm mostly trading forex, and while it does have edge, it's nothing compared to crypto. Like
Yeah.
in crypto on the low time frames, it works really, really well.
That's why I think also, like, if your market of choice is forex, I mean, there's a good reason for trading forex. It doesn't get more liquid. In cryptocurrencies, on some pairs, you still have this liquidity issue always. But I, honestly speaking, if I want to trade the lower time frames or even the hour or 4 hours, I would more go with Jonatan's RLZ. Slingshot indicator. I think that one has better results, in my opinion, and is a little bit more insightful, if I maybe can say it like this, when it comes to trading. But I'm sure you have some stuff from the RZ from last week, maybe, that you want to share with us as well.
Well, I don't have a lot from the RLZ, but I want to, not the Slingshot, but I want to share some changes that I'm doing with the community, with the RLZ community, that's going to be going to involve the RLZ Slingshot. So first of all, I just want to show you some of the results that we have for the. So this is the. I remember, a while back when I changed my take profit strategy, I went from having, basically, I went from letting my winners run to taking profits at half an hour. And this is the result that you're seeing from that. And this equity curve is, from my point of view, it's, I really like the way this is looking. It's one of my best performance when it comes to a 3-month period in a long time. I've been struggling a little bit with consistency this whole year, actually. And then I made one small change. One small change. Well, actually, it's a pretty big change, but it's just one change to a previous working system. And that is, instead of letting the winners run, I'm just going to exit as soon as I hit half an hour in profit. And these are the results. As you can see here, we have 33 trades now with a win rate of 72%. So this is to show you guys complete transparency. Not only that, I've also opened up a my FX book account, and I've connected my personal account to my FX book, so you'll be able to go in with that link and then double check my trading history, my trading results, and my profitability and consistency right there. And this is also why I'm saying it's so important to have these put all these trading educators and gurus out there, put them to the test, ask them for statistics. Now this is, if I would only show you this would not be proof of consistency, because it's only 32 trades. Okay, it's not proof of consistency. But if you have this for 6 months or 12 months, and you have 5 or even 10 times the number of trades, and that would prove consistency. Now, this is not easy doing with an evaluation account or a funded account, as we know. Therefore, it's best to have like a personal private account that I do have on my FX book. And also, when it comes to the RSS Slingshot, so I'm restructuring the whole community, the whole RLZ trading community. So what I'm doing is we have the community is currently free. It's going to stay free. It's going to remain free, and everything that you do get in the free community now will remain as it is. So everyone that's in the community, that there's not going to be any changes for you. However, what I'm doing is instead of having the RLZ Slingshot indicators one product, and then I have the private mentoring is one product, and then I have another product which is the trading course, which is, I believe, like 60 hours of content on a specific trading course, a specific trading system. I'm going to put all of this in one package called the RLZ Exclusive. So it's going to be a membership where you get it for monthly. It's going to be $49, but if you pay I think 6 to 12 months, is going to be as low as $20 a month. And where you get there is you get me doing private webinars like this one, but in private for the community 3 times a week. You get the RSS Slingshot indicator, you get the private mentoring aspect, and you get that course, which only the course is valued at $400. So for everyone who's interested in the RSS Slingshot, you'll be able to get that one in that membership. So I'm going to have more information. It's not launched yet, so this is actually the first time talking about it. So I'm going to most likely start working on launching it next week. So make sure that you do join the free community today, so you get all the updates. And then the links to follow my trading completely transparent will be in that community as well. I want to show you guys something as well. So let's remove this. Today we so this week 3 trades, all winners, which
Nice.
obviously it's incredible that I go from it just blows my mind. I go from having like 5 or 6 losses in a row on this new system. I don't have any losses in a row. Okay, I think I have 2 losses in a row once, you know.
I think really it's like a psychological thing also.
I just need to take this phone call. It might be
Yeah.
the school. Just give me a second, okay?
Yeah, sure. I think like I said just now, guys, I think this might be a psychological thing, because I saw Jonatan when he was just sharing this that I think he had Sorry.
I gotta tell you, I got a phone call. I've been getting these a couple of days. It's they're this pre-recorded message saying like they're from Interpol.
Oh, I had this too last year, man.
Yeah, they're like, oh, this is from Interpol. You know, I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Like
we're going to arrest you if you don't.
Oh, is it okay if I arrest you?
Automatically.
Yeah.
What I was just going to say,
Yeah.
like these losers in a row or winners in a row, I saw just now once after you set your R target a little bit lower now at 0.5 or something like this, you'll have more winners, of course. So your success rate, win rate, I think was like at 72%.
Yeah.
So around that, what I also showed for my indicator, and this is actually something that helps where your mental mindset benefits greatly from. Of course, like from a mathematical standpoint, probably all the traders out there will tell you, well, you should have a 2.2 to 1 R or something like this, or 1 to 2 R, which then in translation means that you very often end up with a winning rate well below 50%, maybe something like 45%, or maybe even something like 40%. And so you'll have more often these phases where you have like 5, 6, 7, or even 10 losers in a row. And some of them also ending up as losers that were already in profit, maybe at half an hour or something like this. And in my opinion, this does something to mentally. I think it's easier to handle a trading system where you have a higher success rate, but your average winning trade might be a little bit lower. I think that's really beneficial, especially if you are a beginner trader. I mean, I know, of course, traders like, for example, Victor, who have like a very low winning rate, but still end up earning money because they have such a great risk reward ratio. But I think this is also for me, like with like doing this for 26 years now, this is extremely hard. I also prefer like a little bit lower average win, but a nice higher success rate, win rate on my trades.
Yeah, no, I'm absolutely with you with that. I think when I switched to so when I switched to a high win rate system, everything changed. Like I no longer worry as a trader. I no longer like this year has been really really tough. I'm not gonna lie. I've been in a massive drawdown this year. I made some money here and there on different accounts, but my overall trading results and my overall biggest account has been in the drawdown for a very long time. And I'm finally seeing a bottom being put in on that equity curve. And I've been walking around for the last probably more than 6 months, being being affected by the drawdown and being worried about what's going to happen. What is it something wrong with my system, or is it just the fact that what's happening? So what I noticed is, okay, there's the edge that I had in during the pandemic, I would say, because I made a lot of money trading in the pandemic. The edge that I did have in the pandemic is obviously not repeating itself in 2024. So I need to make some changes, and I did. And now finally I'm about to get out of that drawdown. And the thing is, what the biggest change here is the fact that having a 30 maybe 40% win rate. Back testing should have had 50% win rate, but in reality it was more like 40, and maybe even between 30 and 40. Having that type of win rate, I noticed, um, I wasn't as good of a loser. Um, so switching to a high win rate system, I noticed that, okay, I can now execute on every trade. I have no problem taking every signal, every edge that appears, and that's a huge difference, because I'm no longer worried about any any in a massive drawdown. I know they're going to come. I know they're going to come, but I'm well prepared. I think I'm mentally well prepared for that. I'm gonna show you something on Euro USD. So this is one of the trades I took this week. So I want to walk you through this, and there's a point I'm going to show you where the slingshot indicator could have helped you with this trade. And this is what I believe is the beauty of this indicator. When you learn how to use this indicator, and of course you need to understand how to use the indicator to use it properly, and therefore there's also a course included with the indicator. You actually get 4 different courses with the membership, so you're going to have a lot of information to understand how to break down the market structure for these trades. This is the trade I took on Euro USD. I think for everyone watching, it's pretty straightforward. We have a break and retest on the daily of a 0.618 level, the reload zone right here, confident with a high time frame level. I think it's also confident with a level, not really. So the indicator, that's also a reason why I'm not using the indicator with horizontal levels anymore, because I'm basically adding my levels in a different way than the indicator is doing. So here you have a hit of the 0.618 and that level. You have a daily bullish engulfing candle. The close of that daily bullish engulfing candle, right before that, you have this 4-hour candle, breaking out of this level, and that was my idea. A break and retest of this level with a very wide stop loss, and then a move up here. Now, if you go back to the daily, and you might ask, how did I find this in this setup? Well, you go to the daily and you put on the indicator, and there you have it. That's the strong signal right there on that close of that bullish engulfing candle. Now, if you want to make this very simple, you want to make it very simple. You look at the average R of market buy. That's 2.3. That's not a bad risk to reward. So what you could have done is just enter on the daily candle close, stops where the indicator indicating a stop, which I would say is a perfect stop loss, and then TP up here at the FTA. All of this you get automatically with the indicator. So basically what you're doing is you're not taking out the guesswork 100%, because you get a signal and then you actually have to analyze that signal, ask yourself, is it a good signal or not? And that is also a bit of the discretionary part of trading, and that's also why I'm not able to automate this. And that's also the difference between my indicator and your indicator. I'm not able to automate this. It's basically going to be impossible, because you see there's good and there's bad signals. I mean, here's another one. Now, of course, hindsight trading is obviously something else. Here's a really good signal. That signal, though, comes a little bit too late. I would love to have it here, but there's you have another one right here. This is a signal that I think is really, really good, but it's going to be a losing trade. But still, this is a really good signal. It's a break and retest. It's the same level as the previous trade. It's a break and retest of this level. Got the reload zone, everything. Got the 20 EMA, and also, of course, the stochastics. So, in my opinion, this is a really good signal. But obviously, it's a loser. Not every trade can be a winner. The thing is, if you go here and you put your entry on the candle close of that signal, stop loss here, and now you're looking for a half an hour. So we're looking at that one right there. Now we go into the 1 hour and we play it. That would have actually been a winner if you go for half an hour. Now, of course, if you look at the daily, there's going to be a massive move to the downside, because I think at that time you had a major news event. You had the GDP growth. You also had the ECB interest rate decision during that day, but you would have actually hit TP right before that event. This is where you hit TP, and then 2 hours later you have the ECB decision. So, and you can also look at this. This is the exact type of market structure that we saw on the previous Euro USD trade, where price comes down, downtrend, and then starts forming an uptrend right here. And if you go perhaps to the 4 hour, you see, well, actually, it's not really great on the 4 hour, but on the 1 hour, you do see a break of structure here. So by using the indicator as a market scanner, or a way for you to find possible trades, and then you go in, you zoom in, and you look at market structure. So you make sure that the signal is happening based on a break and retest principle in a trend on a horizontal level. You go in, and then you can play around with a break of market structure on the lower time frames, and I think that will significantly increase your results. And that's what I'm doing, right? I have in the Discord, I have a channel where I get all of these signals. So, for example, we have the very latest signal right here, and these are based on the 4 hour. It's this one right here. So as soon as there is a 4 hour channel, 4 hour signal with this indicator on any of the forex pairs, I have them forwarded to the Discord. So I use that channel, and I get alerts on my smartwatch. And then what I can do is I can open up Discord, and I can open up this screenshot of TradingView, and I can immediately see if that's a trade worth taking or not. If it's a trade worth taking or not, I'm going to take the trade. So I don't even have to open TradingView, because obviously that takes time. TradingView needs to load. You need to look at the chart, but this is a great way of just finding possible trade setups. So I think what I've done here is I'm able to automate the system as much as possible without actually using a bot to trade it, without actually automating the process.
The thing is, like talking about automation. I mean, I'm talking a lot about automation today, but I said like half automation, because ideally I also would like have to filter, where the system automatically decides, is this a place where a signal makes sense, or are we, like the example I showed earlier, somewhere in the middle between support and resistance, where things could go either way still, which is, at least I haven't found a solution how to automate this, because there's a lot of, like you said, discretion in something like this. But okay, I'm still happy with how things are at the moment. However, what I wanted to say is if you are like a new trader, like this whole trading is new for you, actually your aim shouldn't be to automate everything. You need, in my opinion, you need to spend a lot of time first watching the markets, understanding the markets, and getting for yourself a feel on the trading peers that you're watching, how are they behaving. Because, and I say this because I got a lot of messages over the course of the last weeks, really, since I published this indicator, asking like, oh, how can I automate these things? How can I earn money on autopilot? And I said, guys, be careful with this. If you're a beginner, your first step needs to be to understand the markets, if that is even possible, understanding the markets, but to get a feeling of, how the up and downs of the trading pairs of your choice are. This is extremely important. And a lot of the signals that I do not trade or that I exit early are because I got a hunch for the market right now. I know that was, for example, the case, I think 2 weeks ago on the live stream, where I said I didn't trade this. I didn't take this trade because something felt off right now. So be extremely careful, spend some time. It's the same like learning a language. It's also not enough to just learn the vocabulary. You need to understand and breathe and actually converse in the language. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to speak it. It's, in my opinion, if I have to summarize everything from the last 25 years, also for the markets, the case, take your time, understand, watch charts, watch how price behaves, how price moves, understand things also, why certain things have an impact on the market. So later on today, for example, I would like to talk a little bit about the upcoming non-farm payrolls in the USA that are going to be published today at 2:30 CET, and why this is important in conjunction with what we are probably going to see in 12 days down the road from the Federal Reserve Bank in the USA. All those little things that have big impacts on the markets, you need to understand. And when you have understood them, and I can wake you up at 2 a.m. in the night and ask you if interest rates are lowered, what's going to be the effect on Bitcoin? If you can then right away say, oh, it's probably going to go up because risk on is in the markets again. Well, then you can think about automating your trading strategies. So don't aim for finding this one bot that earns you money on autopilot. I can almost guarantee you it's not going to work for you.
No, it's not going to work. And I don't know about you, but I do have a lot of impersonators on Twitter and Discord coming in trying to basically scam people, and they do succeed actually. And I'm
Sadly.
curious about that. Why would like a well-established trader like myself? I run a trading community. I've been trading for many years. Why would I ask you to transfer over money to some no-name offshore broker that no one's ever heard about, and promise you 20% profit a month? If I wouldn't be making 20% profit a month, you wouldn't like. It's ridiculous. So I think people have to. I wonder, maybe the reason why people fall for this is because they, first of all, they have their dreams, and their dreams are so powerful that when someone says that their dream is in arm's length reach, they stop thinking logically, right?
Yeah,
And they
absolutely.
think, and they think trading is so simple. I think people have to realize, ask themselves, if this person selling that service is able to make 20% a month, why does he not just connect that to every prop firm out there and become a millionaire in like a year?
And the easy answer to that is because it's not possible to
Yeah.
make 20% per month, at least if you don't want to run a casino, or treat your trading like a casino and, I don't know, like go all in with every trade. Maybe you're lucky and can make that 1 month, but the second or third month latest, I guarantee you're going to lose money.
We have non-farm payrolls today at for 2:30, and I'm looking at the euro GBP right here as a possible trade, and I'm looking at the. Can you hear the background noise, by the way?
No.
Nice, because there's a lot of background noise. Okay.
Yeah? No, cannot hear.
Great. So the stop levels here in tick is 36 pips. Is it 36 pips? Let's take a look. So I'm trying to determine Yeah, around 36 pips. So what I'm gonna do is what I'm gonna do after this call is I'm gonna look at the average movement of the 10 previous NFP releases, and I'm gonna look at the average movement in pips and see if 36 is within a reasonable limit, which I think it might be a little bit too low, actually.
I think you should really maybe put an agio on top of that, like 20% or something, because
Yeah.
I have a feeling like this NFP this time, with all the just like I think it was like 2 weeks ago when we had this big, so to say, scandal that the NFP numbers in the past were like totally different and had to be revised much worse
Yeah,
than
wow,
what
this
was
time is going to be
broadcasted.
amazing.
So the market is really eyeing like today's NFPs, because of, yeah, actually, just I'm quickly switching over here to mine because of one thing, because the labor market for the past one and a half years now almost has been like this last puzzle piece where the Fed said we want to see like the US employment take a turn for the worse. So we want to see that people are struggling to find jobs. So we have a justification to lower the US interest rate. And this is here now. Now, of course, everybody could rejoice, everybody that is trading, because the expectation is now, yeah, for sure, on the 18th of September, the Fed is going to lower the interest rates. 59% of market participants expecting at the moment 25 basis points cut. We have 41% also expecting already a 50 points rate cut, which would be insane in my opinion. However, at the same time, we now suddenly have this fear in the market also that a recession is going to come, which could be the case. There could be like something like a mini recession. Actually, if you look like in the past at how the stock markets were performing after rate cuts, you normally see like a little bit of a decline first until you really see the effect of money pouring from risk-off assets into risk-on assets, such as stocks and crypto again. Because people are like expecting, oh, there's going to be a recession because the job market is so worse. So it's going to be very exciting. I'm very sure, especially if the number should differ highly from the 160 new jobs created, to the downside, like if we see 100 or maybe just 90,000 or even something lower than that, that we are going to see a massive nosedive in the market. And if we see a massive nosedive in the market in stocks, we are going to see the same in crypto. For sure, you're going to see Bitcoin trading very fast at something like, I don't know, 53 or 52,000 US dollar, where we are already in this region, what I said on the last two live streams, of a new lower low. So the last lower low was, I'm not counting the wicks here, was here around 54. So if we possibly, and I say possibly, I'm not saying it has to happen, see something around 52 or even 50,000 US dollars, this could be this last lower low that I've been talking about for the past weeks now, that I'm kind of expecting as the narrative now for September. It would come a little bit early, honestly speaking. I would expect it more towards maybe the middle of September. But that's the way it is. So this is kind of mentally what I'm prepared for today. If we see prices down there, I'm for sure going to add to my long-term position in Bitcoin. I think that's a great opportunity because long-term, as we said, also so often the upside is much, much higher than the downside, in my opinion, at least. And it's going to be exciting for like swing trading. I'm going to stay at the sidelines this afternoon. I'm not going to do any Forex trades. I'm not going to do any manual crypto trades, short-term ones. I'm going to let the bots run for sure, because there is a certain risk management metric integrated into the indicator that it should handle a situation like this. But maybe it's going to be put to the stress test today. It's for sure going to be interested to see. So I'm kind of hoping actually for a lot of volatility.
Yeah, actually, what I'm looking at now is, for me, this trade on EG is like this is a very good example of my edge, and the fact that we do have NFP, could of course be problematic, but I do see I have a you can see I have a very wide stop loss here, and I make sure that if I'm going to be trading around any major news event, I need to make so this is on a daily shot here, and you can see that I have a very very wide stop loss. It's currently at 55 pips, and I'm looking for to perhaps then after this 4 hour candle get filled on this level, so a break and retest of that level right there, and then just trade it up here. The thing is, I'm not able to get half an hour out of this trade setup. I'm only able to get like 0.43. The thing is, that's completely fine. Having 72% win rate, that's completely fine, and then having this massive um, stop loss here, I believe is going to absorb some of the movements from NFP.
So how much? 55 pips. That's quite a good margin, I think, on euro pound.
Yeah, and what I've noticed is when you have major news events and you look at price as being at support, a lot of times it bounces.
Yeah.
That's my understanding of this.
Uh,
Like I've traded through many major news events, and it's like, yeah, there's if you're trading based on like the daily time frame and you're swing trading, and you take the volatility of the news event into account, a lot of times you'll see price go in the direction that you had previously, unless it's like a sentiment changing
yeah.
event.
And this is what I see as the risk today, that it could be like a sentiment changing event. Because I noticed, before recently, there was always like NFPs coming out worse than expected, were kind of celebrated by the market as a risk on event.
Yeah.
And now it's back to how it used to be prior to COVID and prior to inflation. Suddenly, this fear of recession takes over again. So actually, the markets are going a little bit back to normal. I mean,
Yeah.
if like job numbers are lower than expected, that should be something that is not good for the stock markets or any risk on assets out there, including cryptocurrencies or more specific Bitcoin. But somehow, since the inflation, since everybody was speculating on, hey, when is the rate cuts? When are the rate cuts coming? Everybody was always hoping for worse job numbers, for higher unemployment rates, actually all over the world, primarily, of course, in the USA. In the hopes of this rate cuts coming, in the hopes of new liquidity, washing into the markets. And I'm really nosy if, like, for me, like, as from a scientific, let's say, standpoint, it would be interesting to see how the markets are reacting today if the number is really worse. Is the fear of recession then taking over? Are we going to see especially all those tech stocks, like Nvidia, Apple, Microsoft, going to take a nosedive? Are we going to see Bitcoin suddenly attacking 50K again? Or and like an hour or 2 hours or a day later, are we going to see the same rebound we saw the last time?
Yeah.
Remember the last time when we had this horrific Monday where everything was just crashing, and then within 3 days we totally recovered again.
Yeah, I think people just forgot about that.
Of course people forget about it because the average trader, maybe myself included, has a very short memory. One of the reasons why I like to have my trading diary always with me, so I can take note of things like this and look up for myself. Hey, what were your thoughts last time? And how did you react in your own trading? Well, this time, as I said, I've decided, apart from the bots, which are only trading small position sizes anyway, I'm going to stay at the sidelines. If it's a major event, really, I probably am busy like hedging a bit my forex options positions anyway.
I'm thinking this might actually be the first time I lower risk on a trade. There is the added risk, but then of course, then part of me says, well, if you're lowering risk, that means you think that there's a lower probability of this trade working out. And if it's a lower probability of the trade working out, then it's not worth taking.
Yeah, that's kind of true, actually. I think you're onto something there.
Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna keep the drawings on. I'm not gonna take the trade, but I'm gonna keep the drawings on here. I'm just gonna observe just for fun because I mean I've had a very good week, so I feel like probably it's
I know what you
and
mean.
yeah, I mean and yes, it's NFP. I mean, it's Friday. I had a good week. I'm feeling good.
You don't want to sit around tonight, like,
Yeah, like
silently
I should have.
crying to yourself because
Yeah,
you gave all the profits away again of the week.
exactly.
Yeah,
I
that's
do.
how. So when I looked this morning, I said, "Oh my God, we have a profit factor there of 4.7 right now and 3.7.
Yeah,
This is too good. This is not sustainable long term. This will definitely go down, and maybe this is the event really that is going to bring it more back to normal levels. Normal levels, still extremely good levels, are something between 1.5 and 2. Then, as I said, those are still extremely good levels. Everything above that is, if I would be an investor, I would become very cautious because my first thought would be like, oh, either something is not adding up there, these are fake numbers, or this is an outlier,
yeah,
just a phase where there's an outperformance. This is like really one thing I learned. Like, if things are running too good, it's time to take a break.
yep. It's really that important. I do talk to a lot of professional traders talking about how you know you shouldn't trade on gut feeling. Like, get rid of the discretion, get rid of that gut feeling. Like, but we all know they think the same things. We all know that they have the same feelings and the same emotions. They're
Yeah.
just not gonna. Just not telling you about it. They're just not open about it. They're just these hardcore traders with like this mentality of like, oh, trading psychology doesn't matter. I'm just following the edge. I'm taking. Yeah, but when when you're alone and you think about it, you're struggling with the same things.
Yeah, for sure.
So when you've been in the market long enough, you realize that I think you're getting numb at some point to the emotions, and I think that's what's happening. We're not we're still feeling everything, but we're just not as when you have a process and you have a routine and you follow that routine, naturally the negative emotions that comes with making mistakes are going to be less and less because you're making fewer mistakes.
That is true. I think when we talk like about extreme scenarios that happen every now and then, I think also as somebody who has done this for a prolonged time already, you are able to, in that moment, not let the emotions take over. So you kind of put them aside until you're done with trading for the day, and then you're going to deal with them.
Yeah.
Because at that precise moment, they're not helping them. But yeah, I mean, I just remembered like when I was living in Singapore, we had this one day where like the volatility in Euro Swiss was like crazy because the Swiss National Bank wasn't able to protect like a floor at 1.20 in the conversion rate anymore. And then it basically slumped without seconds from 120 to 0.95. Never seen a
Wow.
move like this in the Forex market, especially not in a major pair that fast. And there was this one back then, a friend of mine, said you don't have so much contact with him anymore. So Steve, if you're watching this by any chance, maybe
Call
give me a
Dirk,
call
call Dirk,
again.
please.
But he was in charge for Bank UBS of the Swiss liquidity book. So what does that mean? Like, they have a lot of corporate clients who need to exchange things where Bank UBS is giving them an exchange rate, taking over the risk, and then they have to deposit it somewhere at the markets to make the edge out of this position. This is how it's done. And because of the volatility, he was sitting on millions, dozens of millions of losses. He said like it basically destroyed the work of the last 5 years in terms
Wow.
of profit within just a couple of seconds. And I've never seen somebody who normally has like nerves of steel, because this guy is handling a flow of hundreds of millions, billions every day. Like, and there's no room margin for error when you're doing this. And he's like ice cold doing this normally, and he was just devastating.
Yeah.
Getting totally drunk that night, understandably. And yeah, this is every time, I'm in a situation like this where I'm afraid that my emotions are going to take over, I have to remember that scene and think like, well, there are people that are worse off sometimes than you.
And that's also the frightening part about trading, because that can happen. I mean, I've got my personal account on Oanda, and I'm pretty much, I'm dependent on Oanda running things smoothly and getting, the right price feeds and nothing, not being any lag. And I'm also dependent on, bigger traders and bank actually doing things, not doing things that would absolutely crash
Yeah.
certain currencies. Because if I'm in that position and my stop is not getting activated, there's no guarantee that there's no guarantee for your stop to get activated in the black swan event. So you might liquidate your whole account in a couple of seconds if you're unlucky.
That then there's the counterpart risk. I remember in that specific event with a Swiss franc that we had large brokers, forex brokers, bankrupting also within minutes because they had to cover the losses of their clients' positions that went
Yep.
into margin call. And when you had like accounts with $5,000 on them that were leveraged, suddenly at minus 100,000, if you have like 1,000 clients at the same time, like this is going to bankrupt you as a forex broker. Because I don't know how it is nowadays, but back then brokers would guarantee that you cannot go into negative balance. So if you blow your 5K, but you are at minus 100K, it's $95,000 loss for the broker in that case.
I think there's some type of security. If you're with a regular broker, I think there's some type of security you have, like you have a security at the bank for a certain amount. But I mean, I also think today that brokers are most likely not booking most of their clients. They're also probably trading against most of the clients. I mean, if 95% of people trading aren't profitable, then if you have if you're a broker and you're on the back end, well, then fade those people. If you see someone who's unprofitable, put them on a demo account and fade them, so they the trader loses money, you win money, and they're on their trades are not getting executed in the real market anyway. Only
Yeah.
the counter trades. So, I mean, that's just the reality. If you're a profitable trader, you're not going to have that problem. And if you're a profitable trader and you're getting money, it doesn't matter. You don't care. Like anyone, like if the broker want to content trade you, whatever, I don't care. As long as I'm getting money, I'm getting payouts, I'm getting my withdrawals. You can do whatever you want with my trading information in the back end, as long as you don't, make it transparent and public. But if you're not profitable, you should be careful. You should think about that.
There are probably two things that can happen to you. If you are a profitable trader with a forex broker, I don't know so much about cryptocurrencies brokers, probably the same there, but let's stay with forex brokers. If you are profitable long term, let's say with 3 months or 6 months, and you receive a payouts, then you can be pretty sure that they put your account into a so-called A book where
Yeah.
they do not take the opposite opposite position of your trader. My God. And what can also happen to you, and you see that sometimes with especially non-regulated brokers, that they just refuse to make a payout.
Yeah,
Because they
I've had a
lost
couple.
money on you. And I've seen especially one friend who probably had accounts with any broker that is out there. He sometimes encountered that. He sometimes encountered that, by the way, also with entities that are so-called respected brokers out there. I'm not going to share any names now here, but just be careful. I think retail traders, so-called retail traders, and the two of us are also retail traders, of course. We are not so good in seeing that the counterpart risk is really a risk. Counterpart risk meaning that the entity you are trading with that is holding your money goes bankrupt or does something like FTX was doing. I mean, nobody expected that FTX would go bankrupt
Yeah,
just like
exactly.
this, right? And
I
I
had.
personally know people who lost like 200, 300, 400, 500,000 euro in there.
Yeah, I know that's horrible. I mean, people actually committed suicide because of that. So it's like it's an insanely terrible situation to be in. I remember I had an account with a broker and I was not profitable. But I kept on depositing money, every month, came up to a sizable account, but I was not making money consistently. But then when I became consistent and profitable, they started to really care about me. Like, they started calling me, and this was not a broker in Sweden, so they started calling me from abroad. As soon as there was like this little issue, they called me up and like walked me through it and helped me out and everything. I'm
That's
like,
nice,
okay,
no?
so you don't care. You don't care at all when I'm not profitable, but as soon as I start making money, like I'm your best customer. Like, you start calling me, you're like, I'm a valuable customer all of a sudden. That approach I do not like.
Yeah, I think also it's like somebody told me like out of 100 clients, the broker earns actually really money with like 2 or 3 clients out of 100 clients. And of course, we want to take care of those. I don't like that either. That's like, oh, today you're my best friend, but if you change things, I'm not going to like you tomorrow anymore.
Yeah.
Personally, and also in as a business practice. But yeah, sadly, this is how things very often are nowadays.
Yeah.
All right, I think we've arrived at the 1 hour mark. We should
have.
call it a day. Guys, remember please to leave a like, subscribe to the channel. Also make sure to check out Jonatan's social media. Make sure to check out his wonderful RLZ Slingshot indicator and the whole educational package around this. I'm really nosy to see the package that you are designing at the moment there. Also check out the 75% discount on the first month on the market equilibrium indicator. All the stuff you need for that, of course, in the description of this video. Yeah, let's see next week then how the NFP turned out. I'm for sure going to comment on that on Twitter later and also on Telegram. It's going to be an exciting day. Stay safe out there. And Jonatan, thanks for being with me again here today. See you again next week. Take care, everybody.
All right, take care, guys. See you.